Welcome to Accelerating Success. Today's training will focus on what we refer to as our 3D support. If you come to the science drop-down menu, today we're going to be looking at fifth grade by topic, physical science, properties of matter. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to everything that we have on the topic. If you haven't seen our videos on the online modules or curriculum corner, or the instructional videos, I highly suggest that you check those out. Today we're going to be focused on the 3D support. The 3D support, the very first thing that's going to pull up is our vocabulary support shorts. Vocabulary shorts are just that. They're really short videos. I'm talking 1 to 2 minutes that directly hit at what this concept is. So boiling, circuits, conclusions. With one click, you're able to jump off into the video. Don't forget, if you haven't watched the online modules video, that this button right here restarts your presentation. This is our volume button. All the modules start off muted, so you have to unmute them. And with right here, you can go full screen or you can bring it back to the actual size. And so if we clicked on our bowling video, this is what we would see.
Boiling is when we heat water until it becomes very hot and turns into a vapor or steam. When we boil water, it gets so hot that it changes from a liquid into a gas. Water typically boils at 200.
So it's going to continue to go through that. I won't bore you with all of that video, but you kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. Off to the right, you're going to notice that we have flashcards, and basically that's exactly what it is. These are online flashcards where the children are able to come and they are able to do flashcards right there very easily. With one click, they can start to quiz each other on vocabulary that you've already taught, that they've already experienced. Right here, you can click and it'll give it to a list. It'll read to the children.
The property of attraction to a
You can also do matching where the children have to click and then they have to click the definition. And then there's all kinds of ways that they can practice. This one is a little bit harder because you almost have to be exact with the text, and so that's more difficult. But there's other things that you can do, from crossword puzzles to creating manipulatives, matching games, all kinds of things. But that is available under that flashcard button.
12 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius.
Sorry about that. The next thing that you're going to see is the digital dictionary. The digital dictionary is just that. It is a digital dictionary. No more yellow pages, phone books, or dictionaries. We don't do those things anymore. What we do is we live in this digital age where with one click, children are going to get the word, children are going to get like pictures, examples, less dense and more dense, and then they're actually going to get a video that they can watch to help them to further develop their understanding of that concept. And then the last button that you saw over there was our warm-ups and exit tickets. Once again, we want to have as many things available to you that you don't have to create, that you are able to just say, hey, I need an exit ticket or a warm-up. With one click, we were just looking at density. I can come here and click on density, and boom, I've got that warm-up and the exit ticket ready to go. And I can come over here. It's going to give a little explanation, and the children are analyzing this tower of liquids, and then they're having to decide and answer these questions. So this is a great example of how you can differentiate this. As you were going throughout your lesson, if you saw the children seem to be struggling with the concept, it might just be you give them level 1 or number 1. But if you have children that seem to have mastered it, you might have them do all 4 or have them to do 3 and 4. But you have a lot of options based on whatever you see in your classroom, and you can be responsive to that. And so that's going to be our warm-ups and exit tickets. You also noticed over here to the right that we had our digital anchor charts. Please remember that the green buttons are for Spanish. So we have our Spanish for vocabulary shorts and our Spanish for our digital anchor charts and word walls. The digital anchor charts and word walls is this right here. You're going to click it. It's going to copy into your Google Drive, and it's just that. Some of these are pre-made anchor charts. So let's say you're doing the Classifying Matter Lab, or maybe you're reviewing it again back in next year in February, right before some testing, and your walls are full of anchor charts and you don't want to try to sift through to see if you can find it. You can literally pull this up and project it. But the power in this is not when you project and when you make these anchor charts. The power is that each student gets a copy of this that is blank, and the children actually get to go through and build their own anchor chart. So they go and find a picture that they feel represents density, and they find maybe a gift image that they feel represents density, and they describe it. And defining it sometimes sounds, but just describe to me, when you use the term density, what does that mean to you? Use it in a sentence and give me an example. So that would be our anchor charts and word walls. So that's your TE master. And then you have student copies that you can assign to your children. And as they go throughout the year, they are building those anchor charts and word walls. We also have our recurring themes and content support. So this is going to be our RTC card games and our RTC reflection space. So our RTC card games are just that. They are card games. One of my favorites is Uno. So we get off in here and you're playing Uno, but instead of numbers and colors, what you're playing for is you're looking at objects and types, forms of energy. And so types of energy. So you know that this flashlight produces electrical energy, but it also could be played on a light energy because it produces light energy as well. So you're able to navigate playing Uno with science cards. So we have the instructions up in front for each one of these games. Some of them are more difficult. Some of them are a little bit easier, but they are all surrounding our recurring themes and concepts. And so then we also have our reflection space, our RTC reflection space. It's right here. And when you come off in here, let's look at cause and effect. And so you literally can take these. And so we can say there was a rainbow. And so then the children, you'd ask them, do you think that that is a cause or an effect? And then they'll say, well, that is an effect. And then you come over here and you'll say, well, what do you think the cause was? What vocabulary word do you think points to the cause? And you're able to fill that in and drag it over here. And once again, we are teaching children that these are tools that scientists use to think with. Like we think with cause and effect. We think with structures. We look for systems. We understand stability and change. So these are just things that these are tools that scientists use to think with, and we can utilize those in our classroom space. We have a couple more things. We also have our Ola to Science. That's our science and engineering practice support. So these are going to be, once again, activities that with one click, you can make a copy of and add to your repertoire. And these are going to be a bunch of hands-on learning activities that focus around the various standards. There's going to be everything from materials, instructions, teacher background knowledge, exact forms that you'll use, fill in the blank, you have it, it's there for you. And we even have some scoring rubrics there so that you can know how to score the children products. And so the last thing that you saw on there was our cluster set. You'll notice that we'll call them our 3D assessment cluster set questions. When you come over here, these are going to be broken down. There's a whole bunch of them, as you can see. We're going to just jump into the first one. Once again, we make that copy. We throw that into our drive. And what you're going to see is you're going to have the same stimulus on every single page, but there's going to be different questions that are pulled from that stimulus. And so this is actually a new testing format. And so we're trying to prep the children's minds from using the same stimulus to answer multiple different types of questions. And so all of those together make what we call our 3D support section. And as always, if you need more support, you can always go to our site guide. Our site guide is there to give you more information about key questions like what is accelerating success, how does accelerating success and data work, and then it's also going to have breakdowns on our online modules, our think tank, our curriculum corner, and other aspects of our e-learning program. Hope you enjoyed the training today, and thank you so much for joining the ACC family.